Here's the first location that we came to. I'm starving and we just got at the airport, so Los Pollos Hermanos in person. It's not as big as I thought it would be. TV makes it look a lot bigger. So there it is. Right here is where all the walking happens. Might come down and break a phone right here. So on to the next. Here we are inside Twister's. I'm trying to be quiet since people are eating. But there is the sign right there. They kept it painted on the wall. And there is Walt's official booth right there. Let's hit the next spot. Here's the next stop. There is Clovis's Junkyard, where Jesse stores the RV, and also where he jumps the fence and breaks in and busts out of the gate. And then there's the street that he goes taking off on. So it's called Reynolds something, CNC Services. They changed the fence, you can tell. But that's it. Next. Here's the next stop, Rio Grande Shop, where Spood steals the ATM and claims that the crime was act. It looks a little different than on the show. I don't know if it's because of the new sign or what. And there's the other sign. I almost couldn't find this though. So, the wall decorations are the same still. So, that's that. On to the next one. The next stop is, it's a credit union on the show, but it's some developmental center in real life. This is where Ken Wins gets introduced, where the dickhead cuts off Walt in the parking lot right here. And you can see that everything looks exactly the same as it does in the show. So that's that one. The next stop is Andrea's first house that she has, where Jesse goes over there and her mom or grandma walks in on her. It looks pretty much the same. Everything seems so much smaller in person though. TV really does make it look bigger. So that's it. Here we are at Combo's Corner. This is one of my favorite places to go. This is probably my favorite episode in the whole show. But this is where he stands right here. And Tomas rides his bicycle around him. And this car right here is mad dogging me hard. And then Combo gets shot and dies right here in the middle of the road. Pretty cool spot though. It doesn't look easy to ride a bike on now. Here's the next location. It's the corner where Skinny and Jesse meet up, where he's getting Spooge's address. Jesus, how do you spell street? And steps on that bridge right here. Pretty rundown building behind it. But that makes the setting, so that's it. This spot here is nothing big. It's just this church is used in a time lapse, as you see in the show. But like I said, I'm going to try and get as many possible locations as I can, just so everybody can see where it's at. I'm going to put addresses and everything too, make it easy. There's the church. Here we are at the DEA offices. You see Hank and all of them come down here many times. There's a wreath covering the address, but this is it. Here we are on top of the garage. This is Walt and Jesse meet up after Gus is killed, and the famous "I won" quote. This was actually pretty easy to find. I was surprised about that. And then over here, I'm gonna show you in a second, is where he's watching from another rooftop, and Gus is in this parking garage. All right, so here's inside that garage. Right around here is where Gus starts walking towards his car. There's the artwork that you see in the background. His car's parked right around where I'm standing. And then right there across the street, when we zoom in, right there is where Walt is ducking down, trying to make sure he gets to the car to blow it up. The next spot here is Civic Plaza, scene where Walt is sitting on the bench. I tried to find the bench, but obviously they had moved it because it was right down here. Got an ice skate rink going in. And also, if you want to ball up on somebody, there's some random basketball courts here. This is it right here. Place is right dead smack in the middle of the city. Heading back to the hotel and stumbled up on Crossers. I didn't realize we were that close to it. But you talk about a shithole. They don't like people coming here and taking pictures, but I don't care. I'm not missing out on it. And there's traffic everywhere in this thing. Here is Serenity. This is where Jesse does his other rehab stint right here. Is at Isleta Casino, which is also where I'm staying at. And over here is where he's planting flowers and all that. The thing is definitely a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be in person. So here we are at Rax right now. The infamous stay out of my territory parking lot. I didn't plan on coming here when it was dark, but it just so happened that way, and the scene happens at night, so it worked out pretty well. Again, this parking lot is surprisingly small. Everything looks huge on the show, but it's just not like that in real life. I'm gonna head inside and check out some of those. Another location for the night, only because it is dark and you can see it really well. This is in a time lapse in there. It's just the arch across the street is what they call it. I thought it was cool as hell looking, so I just had to have it. Nothing to it other than that right there. That's the end of it. Here we are, day 2. The first spot that we were able to get to is the huge ass parking lot where Walt Jr. learns to drive, ends up driving through the barrier. It's also somewhere around here where Walt takes his car and blows it up and it just explodes into a ball of fire. But that's the most memorable part about the whole parking lot's that crazy design. I'm eating a donut too if I sound funny. That's it. The next stop is, this is Combo's mom's house. And then right here is where the RV was parked at, where it basically gets stolen. It's also where Hank goes and does the little interview and searches his room and all that. Looks a little bit different than in the show. Overall, it's the same. This location, you would never guess what it is. In episode 3, Hank is doing a drug bust. There was a house right there where he takes a guy and throws him up against the wall. He's on the phone with Marie. And then here was another house, but the wall's very distinct. That's how you can tell where it's at. Everything's destroyed. I mean, there's, besides that white wall, there's nothing telling you that this is it. So, there you go. This is the grove right here. This is where Lydia meat cod and milk sometimes. But she also gets poisoned with the rices. The place is jam-packed crowded, so I'm trying to be quiet and not make it obvious, but I'm making it obvious anyways. So there it is. Since I couldn't talk a lot in the Grove, side note on that, I know I say a lot of locations are smaller than they appear on TV. That place was absolutely tiny. It looks huge on the show, but it is so small in there. Like wall to wall, you can't move. I just had to put that in there. Here is a very famous spot, or well-known spot, Tuco's headquarters. Really cool looking building with all that paint. And up there, those are the windows that get blown out. That's where his quote-unquote headquarters is. And that's it. Right across the street, that is where Badger gets busted. So I'm gonna head over there now. Here is the official spot. Right there is where a bench would have been. This is where Badger sells and gets busted by the cops. And then also comes back and gets, they set up the other guy, well, he gets paid to. But everything happens right here. So it's right directly, pretty much across the street from Tuco's. Here we are at Jesse's favorite place in the world, the doghouse. Numerous scenes were here. He stops here to eat. Also stops here to do a deal. At a like little small hole in the wall place. Pretty cool though. And there's the sign for it. Here we are at Wash Tub Laundry. It's a small scene, very quick. Actually, just one deal goes down here, but it was right in the middle of everything else, so why not stop? Just that's it right there. This is the Express Inn, another spot where Jesse does a deal. It doesn't stay in the scene very long. Sorry it's so bright, it's hard to see the place. If you're planning on coming down here soon, you're gonna see a whole lot of this. The construction down here is a bitch. I mean, you're gonna have a hard time getting in and out of places. That's it though. Here it is, one of my favorite places to see, Jesse's house. All that looks the same until you get over there where they used to park the RV. They built a little garage there. I mean, it's still obvious this is the house, but that still kind of takes away from it since it wasn't there in the show. But there's the house. Nice looking neighborhood. Here we are at Garcia's Cafe. This is the sign that Mike is standing underneath when he's talking on the phone. I can't remember if he's talking to Walt or Gus, but regardless, he's talking to somebody on the phone. You can clearly see it in the show. I'll get a side-by-side picture for it. Here we are at Jesse's parents' house after they move out. We were told by the candy lady we could go up on the front porch and take pictures there, that they're cool with it. I'm not going to chance that, so I'm just going to stand here in the middle of the road. There you go. This is Andrea's new house, well, her second house. This is the one where ultimately she gets lured outside. Todd shoots and kills her while Jesse has to watch while he's gagged. So there is that house. You'll never guess what we have here because there is no sign other than what's covered up on the outside sign. But this is the High-Low Market. This is the one Walt gets busted in naked. Pretty sure. Regardless, it's still used, so fuck it, it counts. There it is. It's for sale and for lease. So if anybody wants to buy a store, there you go. Jesse and Jane's apartment right here. Looks like one of them is for rent. I don't know. I drove by yesterday. The left one had Christmas lights in it. The right one has decorations in the door. So I don't know how it's for rent. But whatever. There it is. I would love to sneak around the back. I might go do that. I'm walking around back right now. I'm sneaking back. I saw the opening. Jesse's and Jane's backside. Here's the Tri-H convenience store. God damn, no truck. Right over there is where Junior and his two buddies were standing. Where I parked is where the undercover cop parks, and they tries to get him to buy beer and gets busted and all that shit. I'm gonna go here and get me something anyways. Here is the church that they go to for their AA meetings. When Jesse meets him outside, tries to get him to come back to the dark side. They're claiming that they're on the straight edge then. Yeah, you see how that goes. There it is. Can you believe this shit? This was Denny's. The infamous Denny's. They take bacon, make a number out of it on a plate. Now it is a Chipotle, Verizon, and Jersey Mike's. That's some horse shit. Here we are at Gertrude's. I'm about to get my ass killed out here in the streets. Throughout the Central, it's a highly populated area. And then that Kelly sign right there is where she and her gun takes off and starts calling, trying to get a hold of her sister, stealing shit. That's it. Here is Walt's second apartment. By this time, he's just straight up Heisenberg. He's not even Walt. So, long row of apartments, they all look identical. The one with a nice ass Porsche is the one that's his. There's Deonza Motor Lodge. That is the first place where Walt does his deal, where he takes off flying down, pulls a tire out of his trunk, and rolls it and gets a giant bag of cash. Misses the birth of his daughter. Everything I read says people who own that place are a bunch of dicks and don't like people on their property. When I drive by, I'm gonna see if it's open because I will go down there. Here is the Zia Motor Lodge sign. Saul makes some phone calls here with Huel and all them. There's nothing special. I mean, there is no motor lodge. It's just an empty lot, but the sign there is historical, I guess. But that is literally all there is to this. We are now at Vmp Vehicle Maintenance, aka Vamanos Pest. Right inside that garage is where their Vamanos headquarters was, where they did all the making and everything. So, there you go. Here is the nail salon that Saul is getting his feet massaged or whatever the hell he's doing. Then Jesse comes in, he gives him a long lecture about being a tax fraud and basically trying to sell him this place to be his money laundering scam. It's in this shopping mall plaza thing. There it is. Walt's house. It is the Mecca. The owner is outside right now. The walkway to the house is gated. Painted the house, it's different. It's the Holy Grail right there. Here I am at Sinners and Saints, better known as Saul Goodman Attorney. I think I said attorney. I just talked to someone who comes here a lot. That is the original stickers on the window from the actual show. So it's pretty damn cool to see that something's still intact from there, even though it was a fake location. Here we are at Silva Lanes, which is also known as the bingo parlor, where the cousins pretty much hijacked that lady's van, the old lady that was in the motorized car. You can see bingo stain the wall, so it's permanently there. But small parking lot, pretty crowded. Here we are at the car wash. They changed the name from Octopus to Mr. Changed the color scheme to red and yellow. So it definitely looks different than it did on the show. Sign. I'm gonna see if I can find a way to get in there and see what kind of stuff they have. That's it. Just left the car wash. Now we're right directly across the street at Taco Sal, however it's pronounced. There's the sign that you see a lot of in the show, and the actual restaurant itself. It's just like a little hole in the wall. It's an old-looking strip mall. So the place looks like it's ancient, since 1960. That would make sense. But that's all there is to that. Here is the location of Mike's granddaughter's house, where he drops her off right here at this curb. And then also in Better Call Saul, she lives here too. So it's actually in quite a few, not quite a few, but it's in both series. Pretty cool. So here we are at another residential area. This spot right here, there obviously was a fence in their yard at one point, but this is where Hank has his panic attack after he realizes Walt is Heisenberg, and he drives through that fence, and they think he's having a heart attack, but really it's just stress. But this is right there is where he drives into the yard. Here we are at Hank and Marie's house. Nice neighborhood. Apparently they don't like people coming up here and taking pictures and stuff, so I'm trying to hurry this one up. I'm not missing it though. Here's Walt's apartment. This is the pool where he finds the Band-Aid in it and gets all pissed off. I'm not sure exactly which apartment is his, but they all look the same. But this is definitely the pool area because it's the only one there is. Fence is not just chain linked anymore, it's covered, so that looks different. But that's the entrance where he comes in right there. So here we are in front of the Cork Petticoat Emporium sign and auto service, which is, everybody knows the demise of Ken Wynn's car because it gets just flat torched from Walt. And he, after it's burning, he walks and he's parked right by this sign. So that's why I got that in here as well. Here we are now at Gus's house. It just kind of creeps up on you out of nowhere. It's a real nice looking house though. There's a lot of nice houses up here. But that's now it's starting to get dark. I'm hoping I can hit a few more spots between here and the hotel. Here's the shoot apartment parking lot. This is probably one of my favorite episodes in the whole show. This is right here in this parking lot is where Hank gets shot from the cousins, and then he backs into one, he loses his legs, and blows the other one's head off. But exactly right here is where it happened at. Here we are at Gonzalo's Mechanical, aka Vmp Fabricators. It looks just like it does on the show, just obviously a different sign. But you can even see inside, and I'm pretty sure the plant that Walt picks up to try and throw through the window is still in there. I don't know if I can zoom in. You can kind of see it right through those gates. But it looks just like it. So there you go. This could be the final stop of the night. Here it is, the Super Lab right here. This is where 90% of the show, all their meth is made. Right there. Here we are at day 3 and the final day. We have like 5 more stops to go. The first one here is, this is the John Robert Dam. Also where Saul and Walt both go, where the vacuum company picks them up to go change their identity. But they get dropped off here, they sit there and they wait for them to get picked up. Here we are at Casa Tranquila. This is the place where ultimately Gus gets his face blown off. This is where Hector stays at, the old folks place. And I am parked exactly where they do in the show. They painted the place green and they put up those fence looking things on the roof. The place seems like it's almost abandoned. But that is, yep, definitely different. And then next door, Jesse goes flying out that window and then rolls off of the roof onto the ground. It's kind of hard to distinguish which the houses were, but I was able to figure it out. Here we are at JP Wynn School. This is where Walt teaches and Junior goes to school. This administration building, from what I read, is where they use like the science building for the show. It looks totally different. Well, you can't really see it a lot, but they painted it yellow. And then over there is the gym where they have the all school / all faculty meeting for the plane wreck. Getting one last long stop. Our shuttle just dropped us off at the same place where Hank and Walt both get dropped off at the airport. Not exactly sure which gate. We're like in the middle. There's that half, and there's the rest of it. It's one of these. It's, I don't know, somewhere around here. This stop here is a little bit off topic. It's Better Call Saul in season 1. This is the toll booth that Mike works at, where Saul goes in and out and they go back and forth like they always do. But it was real close to where we already were, so I said we need to stop and get that one too, because it's a pretty cool part of the show. That's all there is to it. Here's another side location. This is not Breaking Bad, this is also Better Call Saul. But this is the corner where the two twins try to skate and get hit by a car and hustle and all that, and they wind up getting hit by Tuco's mom. But this is the corner right here where it's being filmed. So here's an unexpected stop right here. Coming to the mall to get some sunglasses. And there's a Cinnabon that Saul works at. The very first episode of Better Call Saul. Here we are at Candy Lady. This is where all the blue was made in the whole show. Right in here. Someone get in here and buy me some.
Yeah.
We made another pit stop here, Village Inn. I don't know where we are really, but
Hi!
This is Monique Candelaria.
Denny's Lucy, the waitress from Breaking Bad.
She serves Walt the bacon and he cuts it up and all that shit.
Tips me $100 and you don't know if he tipped me because I'm just that sweet or if there's something more.
You'll never know.
I like to think there's something more.
But Denny's isn't there anymore, so we'll definitely never know.
Right.
So thank you for meeting up with us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for coming.